Take a breath. You're here for a reason. Maybe you're feeling the sting of distance, the ache of losing someone who once made the world feel alive. Maybe she drifted away slowly, or maybe it hit you all at once. Either way, you're left in that hollow space between confusion and pain, wondering what went wrong. This isn't a guide to begging. This isn't about chasing her down or writing long messages at 2 a.m. hoping for a reply. This is about something much deeper. It's about reclaiming your center, your power, yourself. Because the goal isn't just to get her back, it's to rebuild the man she once saw strength in, or better, to become someone even she couldn't have imagined. Let's begin. Number 1. Vulnerability versus neediness. There's a fine line between the courage to open your heart and the desperation that drives people away. Vulnerability is honest. It's when you say, "I miss you," from a grounded place. Neediness, on the other hand, is panic dressed up as love. It's when you flood her phone, apologize endlessly, or chase her affection like your worth depends on it. Here's the truth. Pressure suffocates. People don't run from love. They run from pressure. You wouldn't want someone clinging to you, asking you to validate their every emotion. Neither does she. Be real, but be composed. Speak from strength, not fear. Number 2, boundaries over control. Trying to control her choices, her emotions, her responses, that's a losing game. What you can control, your boundaries. Most men fall into the trap of giving everything away, time, energy, attention, hoping that self-sacrifice will earn love. It won't. It never does. Love doesn't grow where self-respect dies. Boundaries are not walls. They're standards. They say, "I know who I am. I know what I tolerate, and I refuse to shrink to be loved." The moment you set clear boundaries, something changes. She may test them. People always do. But the man who stands his ground earns respect, even from those who once walked away. Number 3, scarcity versus abundance. Need creates fear. Fear kills attraction. When you believe she's your only chance at love, joy, or connection, you've already lost your edge. You become smaller, reactive, hesitant. That's not attractive. It's exhausting. But when you believe in abundance, not fake confidence, but genuine self-worth, you change your entire energy. You're not chasing her to feel complete. You're moving forward because you already are. A man who lives in abundance isn't cold. He's centered. He knows that if something ends, something else begins. He doesn't beg. He chooses. And that subtle shift from needing to choosing is magnetic. Number 4, quiet the spiral of overthinking. Let's be honest, she's in your head, constantly. You're replaying texts, reading into silences, dissecting every word, and it's exhausting. Not just mentally, but emotionally. You're stuck in the loop, not because you're weak, but because your mind is trying to make sense of loss. Here's what no one tells you. Overthinking doesn't solve heartbreak. It deepens it. You're addicted to the idea of her, not the reality of who she is today. That's why you're caught in this loop. So how do you stop? You replace thought with action, not distraction. Action. Hit the gym, learn something new, pick up an old hobby, move your body, change your environment, give your mind new data to process. Obsession fades when forward motion begins. Number 5, rebuild from within. This is where everything changes. Don't try to become someone new. Return to the strongest version of yourself. The version that had confidence, purpose, and clarity before the pain, before the loss. Refocus your time on growth, physically, mentally, spiritually. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about proving something to her. It's about proving something to yourself. Go back to the basics. Get your routine in order. Reconnect with your mission. Find joy in solitude. Show up for yourself daily. Build discipline, not to impress her, but because it makes you undeniable. When a man is focused on his path, he doesn't chase, he attracts. And when she sees you, not waiting, not obsessing, but evolving, the dynamic shifts. She'll wonder, she'll notice, she'll feel the absence of the old you and the presence of someone new, someone steady. And yes, you can get her back. But more importantly, you can get yourself back. Not the version of you that begged for scraps of affection, not the one who stared at the phone, hoping her name would appear. Not the one who lost sleep over texts that never came, over promises that were never real. That version of you, the one who lived for her validation, who shrank himself to fit the narrative she needed, he's gone, and good riddance. Because from that wreckage, a new man begins to rise. A man forged in silence, in solitude, in discipline. A man who now knows that heartbreak isn't just pain, it's purification. It burns off the weakness. It burns off the noise. It makes space for power to grow where fragility once lived. He stopped negotiating with his worth. He stopped rehearsing apologies for existing. He doesn't chase anymore. He doesn't explain. He simply is, grounded, unshakable, calm in his defiance. He doesn't just walk away. He evolves. He sharpens. He heals in ways that are invisible to the outside world but undeniable to those who come close. He learns to protect his energy like sacred fire, to not let anyone touch his peace unless they've earned the right. He learns that solitude isn't punishment, it's where real kings are born. This man, your future self, no longer needs her to come back to feel whole. He no longer wakes up with a pit in his chest. He doesn't wonder if he was enough. He knows he was. He knows he still is. And that knowing, that's what changes everything. That's what shifts the way he moves, the way he speaks, the way he looks at the world. He doesn't need to convince anyone of his value. He becomes the kind of man who makes people reconsider how they treated him. He stops explaining his heart to people who only ever skimmed its surface. He stops looking for closure from mouths that only ever fed him confusion. He closes the chapter himself. He writes the ending without needing her approval, and he turns the page, not bitter, not broken, but bold. Because the truth is, whether she returns or not, you're never going back to who you were. You've outgrown the man who clung, who begged, who doubted. You've become someone who can walk away with peace in his chest and power in his stride. Someone who knows his love is valuable, not because it was accepted, but because it was real. Because it came from a place of depth, a place of loyalty, a place most people can't even reach, let alone reciprocate. Now, your standards are higher, your time is more sacred, your boundaries aren't negotiable, you don't fear loneliness anymore, you respect it, you use it, you build in it, you train in it. And when you re-enter the world, it's not as someone looking to be chosen, but as someone who chooses himself. Every single time. You'll stop performing, you'll stop waiting, you'll stop proving, you'll stop tolerating anything that insults your soul.